Hey everybody, Boris last week. Welcome to the crosses section for May 28th to June 1, 2018. And this week, everything old is new again. We're going to revisit a couple of pairs we did last week, plus one supercharged pair that I think is worth taking a look at if you really want to take a massive amount of risk into the trade. So the two old pairs from last week, I think, are setting up in a way to a contrary trade this week. Aussie Kiwi really coming up against, sorry, this should say 110, not 111. Against the 110 resistance, which is a very key level that I think is worth trying to play against. And Euro Swiss, which has now come down so much. Euro Swiss was the trade of the week last week. It worked out super well to the short side, but now it's coming into this key support of 115, which is sort of matching the euro dollar support of 115. And I think, barring any more existential stress in the eurozone, we could have a chance, a little bit of a bounce here against this particular risk-off trade. And then the last trade I think is super interesting is kind of the rebalancing of the Kiwi trade. If Kiwi can find any sort of a bid on any mild bullish sentiment that we can get there, the pound Kiwi, which is looking like it's ready to keel over, could slice all the way down to the 189 support level. This is a very, very wide range trade, so you got to give yourself plenty of room here. But on small sizing, this could be a very interesting position to trade as you go into the week. Let's take a look at that first, actually. Into the crosses. So you can see the pound Kiwi has just basically been in this range-bound zone for the last month and a half, but now it probed the lower end of the zone here because of the weakness of the cable and that the Kiwis finally found a little bit of a bottom ahead of the 68 handle. So if we can get any sort of mild bid in the Kiwi, or more importantly, the sell-off in cable just simply continues through the 33s, we have a reasonable chance here to break this 192.50, which has been the big support area. And after that, there's just nothing here except 189. So you have a big, big avalanche of selling that could trigger this particular trade to the downside. To the top side, you really have to give yourself that whole massive, ample amount of room all the way out to 197. So as I said, this is not for the faint of heart, but a high volatility trade could be very interesting into next week. Now, the other Kiwi trade is the Aussie Kiwi trade. This is much more measured in its trading, but you can see how it's coming up against a very key psychological resist point of the 110s. We've kind of probed ourselves around 109.50 twice over the last 2 weeks and came back off of it. And I think the rebalancing in Aussie Kiwi is going to continue a little bit. We've had effectively really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive weeks of green candles. So statistically, we're certainly due for a little bit of a correction here. It's not much, but I think we could come down to 108.50 perhaps on any sort of rebalancing. More importantly, I think any kind of a trade into 110 probably gives you a very good establishment short with a 111 stop to see if you could see a mean reversion come back here on that particular trade. And then last but not least, this was the trade of the week last week. It certainly worked out very well, but now we're right into the very key 115 support level. And as I said, this is really the existential trade of the Eurozone. If we get continuously bad news out of the Eurozone next week, if Italy looks like the burning case that it is, yes, we could certainly probe the lower end of the spectrum here. But it feels like the market, at least, let me just find the daily charts here. The market is clearly coming into this very big 115 support area, which was the big breakout area. So it should, at very minimum, slow down the descent and give you a chance to establish a mild bounce back trade here. This is really as much a trade on the bouncing of the euro ahead of the 115 as anything else. But certainly be cautious because the news is very much against you. Still, given all the sell-offs that we've had here, this is probably an interesting buy the dip story into the week. So that's the best currency ideas I have for you guys. Wish you guys the best luck, the best trading. Sorry, I meant to say that's the best currency cross ideas I have for you. Wish you the best of luck, the best of trading. Boris, over now.